thinking differently, their business models are differently built. And I'm so happy to be part of their journey and hopefully, helping them on their way to be successful.
As I listen to you and I think about the creative process and I think about the entrepreneurial journey, I think there are so many overlaps in sort of this process of identifying the problem, finding a solution, and then expressing what that solution should be. And I think, in terms of our listeners, we have a lot of listeners and watchers who are entrepreneurs, and they need to tap into their creative process. They need to tap into that creative side. Can you give us maybe 3 of your top sort of tips or, hints in terms of how to tap into that creative process? Because for entrepreneurs, and particularly in the Web3 space, it's so new, it's so emerging that there's so much you can do, but I think it really has to go and start with finding the problem, identifying the problem, and then finding a solution. So maybe you can tell us a bit about creativity in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, we had, there have been a lot of moments since we launched where we thought like, okay, there is, for example, the moment of or difficulty with returns that we see, the wastefulness in our industry, etc. So a massive amount of problems that we identified and where we hardly can find, the right solution. However, for all the entrepreneurs, I think it's always a question to yourself. What do you really want to achieve, right? What is your vision? What is your goal? And this sounds like maybe banal, but it's not, because at the end of the day, it is really not to lose sight and to be open for experimentation and be open besides the the P&L that you have to follow, and besides all the entrepreneurial groundwork, to give yourself the space where you have a conversation which is purpose driven. And it's not easy because it's the day to day, and you have to. There are all these operational issues that you have to solve every day, but the drive is different, and the motivation is different if you see a purpose. In our case, my purpose was really to drive change for good and to build for myself with Vogue, which has a legacy and such a great image. This is such a responsibility for me. So I thought, I'm given this wonderful product. So what can I do with my team to really create something that will have an influence for this industry, not only today, but tomorrow, for the next generation? And as an entrepreneur, you have to ask yourself every day, is it just about the money, or is it as well about what do you want to create in terms of your own legacy? And if you have the freedom and if you have your own business, then I guess that's a very individual question, but a question that everyone should ask themselves.
Finding your purpose is so key. It's so key. And there's so much hot money floating around, emerging technology, that it is very easy to lose your purpose. It's very easy to just take what's available and build and run, and then that's it.
Clearly.
But then you lose your way. And as we saw with Sam Bankman-Fried, who was recently, sentenced for 25 years, you lose yourself as well. And so I think that's really great advice for people who are listening.
Yeah, so innovating is not easy. It is, but I always say like, okay, success is not final, but failure is not, it's not an issue. So failure is as well, not something that you should be worried about. Failure actually makes you better, and you learn a lot from failure. And if you have the opportunity to experiment, do it, and don't lose your vision, and continue just believing in yourself. You will hear a lot of voices left and right, expectations are high, the way how you should do things and deliver might not be your way of doing it. And but if you take consciously like the decision of, yes, maybe you will be not the richest person in the room, but you know, you will be the happiest because you do exactly what you want to do, then I think you have achieved your purpose and your goal.
Did you feel as though bringing technology and innovation to the traditional essence of Vogue Singapore was a risk? And did you feel at that point, oh my gosh, I'm doing this?
Yes, and I think it was not only for me, it was for the entire team. So maybe when we just look at the covers, there is a lot of risk taking, I can tell you. So September issue, the famous September issue, which normally would always highlight a supermodel, an actor, latest in fashion. And in 2021, we got this beautiful initiative, New Beginnings. That was a call from New York. Anna Wintour said, like, okay, every edition is going to find their own story about what is new beginning for them. And ours was a QR code.
Oh, wow.
And obviously, this is not what you would expect from a classical Vogue. But the story behind is very, very beautiful and speaks about the power of technology, innovation, and collaborations. And this very turning point where we saw Web3 is evolving. There is a new form of storytelling. There's a new aesthetic we've been not used to at all. You know, these digital artworks, the digital fashion was so different to what you would, you know, expect from a classical design. So the idea was to present an NFT collection with established designers and a collaboration with Web3 designers. And for each section of the book, we had collaborations where they designed together NFT collections, beauty, lifestyle, and fashion. And you could access through this QR code here, you could access the website where you actually had all the NFT collections presented. And it was as well like an upside down for me, like print stepped back in a way that the importance of the print was taken away and changed into the real cover was actually the NFT. So that was a conversation even between the different formats. And therefore, I think that was a very strong statement. And since then, we've been experimenting with technology and how can we bring our covers alive? How can we make them a collectible as well? So one of the last ones is a NFC chip included. And when you tap here with your phone, so it's not like a QR code, when you tap with your phone, it releases a poem. And
really?
these voices, so actually this one is talking to you.
Oh, wow.
Which is as well
That
like a
is pretty
different,
cool.
yeah, very different story. And the
This
last
is my
one,
favorite.
oh, the last
This is
one,
my favorite, yeah.
yeah, roots. So in terms of innovation, if you want to innovate, you need to know the roots and you need to understand where you're coming from before you change things, right? So that was the first issue of our new editor-in-chief, Desmond Lim, and he said, like, okay, let me go to back to the archives.